The Forgotten is a novel written by Elie Wiesel, a renowned author, political activist, professor, and Holocaust survivor. Originally published in French in 1992, the story revolves around Elhanan Rosenbaum, a Holocaust survivor who is gradually losing his memory to a disease resembling Alzheimer's. Elhanan desperately attempts to share his life story with his son, Malkiel, before his memories fade away completely. He also entrusts Malkiel with a pilgrimage to the village in Eastern Europe where Elhanan was born, aiming to reconcile a haunting memory from the final days of World War II. Elie Wiesel, born in Romania to Hungarian Jewish heritage, personally experienced the horrors of the Holocaust. At the age of 15, he and his family were sent to the Jewish ghetto in Siyet and later imprisoned in Auschwitz and Buchenwald concentration camps. While Wiesel survived, his mother, father, and sister were tragically murdered. Following his ordeal, Wiesel dedicated himself to raising awareness and educating others about the Holocaust, earning him the Nobel Peace Prize in 1986. Recognized as a messenger to mankind by the Nobel Committee, Wiesel received numerous international awards for his humanitarian work and commitment to preserving Jewish history, traditions, and culture. He was even bestowed an honorary knighthood. In The Forgotten, Wiesel delves into the significance of memory and the profound connections it forges across generations. The narrative alternates between Elhanan and Malkiel's perspectives, shifting back and forth in time. Elhanan, a respected psychotherapist residing in New York City, is devastated by the realization that his memory is deteriorating. The novel begins with Elhanan's prayer to the God of Abraham, pleading for the preservation of his memories to ensure his ability to remember and bear witness. Through flashbacks, Elhanan unveils his past, emphasizing the importance of Malkiel embracing his Jewish heritage and never forsaking the memory of their ancestors. Elhanan's childhood in the village of Fiherfalu, raised in a traditional Jewish family, is depicted as idyllic. At the age of 13, Elhanan's life takes a dramatic turn with the advent of World War II. At 15, driven by the rumors of Nazi violence against Jews, he embarks on a journey to his uncle's village. There, he discovers the confinement of all Jews within a ghetto, confirming the brutal reality of the Nazi atrocities. Trapped within the ghetto when the Nazis seal it off, Elhanan manages to escape the transports with the help of Itzik the Long. The two join the ranks of the Jewish resistance, becoming partisans. After some time, Elhanan returns to his hometown of Fiherfalu, only to find it devoid of Jews, with his parents nowhere to be found. He becomes one of the few Jewish survivors. During his return, Elhanan bears witness to a traumatic event that will haunt him forever. He encounters Itzik raping the widow of Zoltan, an anti-Semite, and despite his efforts to intervene, he fails to stop the violation. Overwhelmed by helplessness, guilt, and a sense of complicity, Elhanan believes that his subsequent loss of memory and history is a punishment for witnessing this sin and forgetting the teachings of Jewish law. He laments that he forgot to fight against evil and failed to realize that one should never be a mere spectator to it. Elhanan declares, "I forgot so many things that day. That is why I am forgetting other things now." In the aftermath of the war, Elhanan finds himself residing in a displaced persons camp, where he encounters Talia, a Zionist activist. They journey together to Palestine and marry aboard a refugee ship. In Jerusalem, Elhanan joins the underground movement and is eventually captured while defending the city, becoming a prisoner of war in a Jordanian camp. During his captivity, he receives news that Talia has given birth to their son. Upon his release, Elhanan returns to Jerusalem, only to discover that Talia's parents withheld the heartbreaking truth: Talia died in childbirth. Elhanan believes that her death is yet another punishment for his inability to prevent the rape. Overwhelmed by despair, he relocates to New York City to live with a cousin, seeking solace from his haunting past. In New York City, Elhanan builds a new life for himself, attending school, working, and eventually becoming a psychotherapist. He raises Malkiel, his son, who grows up to be a journalist for the New York Times. Malkiel, now in his 40s, was born in 1948, the same year the State of Israel was established. He is involved in a committed relationship with Tamar, a passionate and outgoing Jewish girl from a large family who deeply cares for both Malkiel and Elhanan. While Malkiel loves Tamar, he has hesitated to marry her and has had other relationships. At Elhanan's request, Malkiel embarks on a journey to Fiherfalu. his father's birthplace. There, he explores the Jewish cemetery, studying the headstones and uncovering the history of his grandfather. Herschel, the caretaker and gravedigger, refers to himself as the last Jew of the town. He shares a tale with Malkiel about a gathering of ghostly rabbis, known as the Great Reunion, who were unable to save the Jews from the Nazis. Malkiel also meets Ephraim, who considers himself a caretaker of memory. Ephraim advises Malkiel that Elhanan sent him to the village not to succumb to death, but to rise above it. Before returning to his father, Malkiel seeks out Elena Kalinescu, the elderly woman who was violated by Itzik many years ago. In his interaction with her, Malkiel is harsh, reopening wounds and memories that she had tried to bury. He later apologizes for his cruelty, disclosing that his father was the man who had attempted to help her. While Malkiel understands Elena's desire to forget, he explains that he must resist forgetting. Grateful for his visit, Elena asks him to thank his father. Malkiel pays a final visit to his grandfather's grave, making a solemn pledge to bear witness in his father's place and speak on his behalf, as it is the duty of a son to prevent his father from fading away. Malkiel encourages his father not to surrender to the disease, but to fight against it with all his might. He also commits to reconciling with Tamar and loving her wholeheartedly. The conclusion of The Forgotten finds Elhanan expressing his faith that God cannot be so cruel as to erase everything forever, but his narrative voice abruptly fades away mid-sentence. The Chicago Tribune book world hailed The Forgotten as a work of profound impact, delivering a powerful message of urgency to a world captivated by trivialities and plagued by collective forgetfulness. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.